The latest round of trade talks between China and the United States wraps up in Beijing. Hello, I'm Anand Naidu, and this is The Heat. Chinese Vice Premier Liu He and U.S. Commerce Secretary Wilbur Ross met over the weekend for another round of negotiations. The meeting took place just days after the Trump administration announced plans to go ahead with 25% tariffs on $50 billion worth of Chinese products in the near future. For more, we turn now to CGTN's Grace Shao in Beijing. And Grace, set the scene for us. How did these talks go?
Anand, U.S. Commerce Secretary Wilbur Ross arrived in Beijing on Friday and began talks with Chinese officials on China's promise to buy American goods. This is after Washington revived tensions by renewing its threats on higher tariffs on mainland high-tech exports. The latest round of trade talks has wrapped up between China and the U.S. After Sunday's meeting between Chinese Vice Premier Liu He and U.S. Commerce Secretary Wilbur Ross, as you mentioned, Beijing has released a statement saying positive and concrete progress was made. It also warned any agreements would be void if Washington moves ahead with sanctions. Now, the tension between the world's two largest economies has been no secret, but with Ross's visit, this marks a formal meeting to properly discuss plans to resolve the problem. At the negotiation table, both sides achieved positive results. U.S. Commerce Secretary Wilbur Ross even said the trade talks have been, quote, friendly and frank. He came to Beijing for the talks after the Trump administration renewed tariff threats against China, which could have consequently affected Chinese goods of a total worth of $50 billion US. Now, last month, during Chinese Vice Premier Liu He's visit to Washington, the two sides agreed on meaningful increases in U.S. agriculture and energy exports. However, China also suggested in the statement that the achievements reached by the two sides should be based on the premise that the two countries will not fight a trade war. Now, China's response has been consistent within this whole thing, which is that it is willing to increase imports from all other countries, which includes the U.S. Excuse me. The trade disputes have been going on for months now, and the talks this time are expected to pull the two countries back from the brink of a trade war. Anand?
Thanks, Grace. That's CGTN's Grace Shao reporting from Beijing.